Alrighty. You are live. It says... Let me see here. Is it actually live? I don't know if it is. Can't really hear anything. I need to add a channel. Source. Okay, how's that? Well, I still don't hear one there. What the fuck? Alright, now those are doing the same thing, so I'm gonna remove that one. Alright, let's see. We have desktop audio outputs. Speakers Xbox Stream audio renderer. What the fuck is that? Okay. It says I'm live. Let's see here. Fuck. Alright, let's see that work. Okay. No, I don't need that one, because this one is catching it. Alrighty, so here's our displays catcher. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Alright, one sec guys, I'm just going through some setup stuff. Offline, what the fuck? Why am I offline? Okay, here we go. So it says you're live. Audio should be good. I think we're okay. Let's see. Bad video settings. Please use keyframe frequency or 4 seconds. Thought I am. Display capture. Properties. Let's look at stream settings here. Settings, stream, output. Here we go, video bitrate. I need to change this. What does it need to be? Add video frequency. Let's see here. Alright, so we want to do 720p at 60 FPS. So video bitrate range. So we'll do 2250. Alright, that should be a little better. Audio looks good. Video resolution. Video output is currently active. Please turn off any outputs to change the video settings. Alright, 1 sec, guys. Alrighty, cool. Sweet. Hey, Nick. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad you are enjoying the tutorials. Hopefully they are. Hopefully they're helping you out. Alright, so let me make sure this is good. Everything is recording out. Sweet. That's good. Desktop audio as well. Alright, good deal. Alright, so this stream is pretty much me just messing around here, and I am creating some 2D things. So there's this website called devassets.com, which is very similar to like HumbleBundle, but it's for game developers for assets. So I got this free asset pack, 2D mega pack. And I grabbed it for free, and basically we're going to go ahead and create this little space adventure game, and we'll go ahead and just add mechanics and so forth. Alright, so I downloaded that. I'm going to go ahead and just import this real quickly. Let's create a new project here. And we'll call this Space Odyssey. Super awkward. Do not know how to spell Odyssey. Let's see, Space Odyssey. Okay, we're gonna call it Space Odyssey. It's gonna be a 2D game. I don't need Unity Analytics. Alright, good deal. Let this compile, open up. Huh. I wonder if a message goes out to all of my subscribers that I'm live. I don't know if it does. I don't think so. But you know what? I can send one out. Let's see here. Okay, 1 second, guys, before I continue. Let's see. Just gonna go to my channel here. Okay, yeah, I am live. Alright, cool. Yeah, there was something that got posted out. Sweet. Alright, good deal. Alright, so let's see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in these art assets here to build this game. We go to downloads. I didn't even check out the scripts, but I don't care for that. Oh, you know what? What's in GUI? Boring. Any interesting audio stuff? I am interested in the audio, so I'm going to go ahead and take the audio in here, and I'm going to let that compile. Yeah, no problem, Nick. Good luck. Alright, so we got the audio in there. I am interested in these sprites. I'm going to create the Space Miner game, or whatever it is. So I'm going to take all these good assets here. Alien ship, the astronaut, the blue background, the environment sprite atlas, and the muzzle flash, and the astronaut. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and put all of that good stuff into a folder for sprites. Alright, good deal. Alright, so check it out. So we got, let's see, I want to hear these audio assets, see what we were working with. Bonus. Death voice, click. Game over?
Game over.
Nice. Grunt voice. What's hit? Okay, landing footsteps. Respawn countdown.
Respawning. 3, 2, 1.
Shot, spawn, and whoosh. Alright, you know what, we'll make use of some of these. What's the explosion? Yeah, we'll make use of that. Alright, inside the music, we got chill music. Pretty cool. Percussion. Sweet. Alright, I think we will create a music system that utilizes all of this. That should be fun. Yeah, definitely. Alright, good deal. So, we got the audio, I got the sprites in here, got an alien spaceship. Man, that is tiny. Why is that so tiny? Let's see here. Alien spaceship. You are 64 by 64. Holy crap. Just want to be able to see it. Alright, it's also on the top left, so I need to actually cut this thing, I believe. Alright, let's go and do this. Doesn't need to be that big. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and just get the spray. I don't need all this blank space. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and cut that out. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Wow, damn dude, they changed some of these settings. Holy shit, I haven't used the 2D engine in quite some time. Alrighty. Let's see. Spaceship. There we go. Alrighty. So now I got this guy cut out into a single sprite like I wanted. There we go. Okay. We will adjust his sizing and all that good stuff in a little while. Let's see here. Alright, so we got this alien spaceship here. Alright, he's exactly how I want him. First thing first, let's go ahead and cut out this sprite here. So we're going to go to sprite mode, multiple, and we're going to apply, and we need to slice this guy. Alrighty. Everything looks pretty solid there. Go ahead and apply. And we're going to have to go ahead and animate this. And I want to see if we can kind of make this guy look a little better. Let's see here, normal quality, I want to do high quality. I want to do point. And we don't want map. Okay. See if it looks any better. I have a very pixel. Alright, good deal. Alright, cool. So first thing first, I'm going to go and create some animations here. So I got an audio, I got sprites, I need animations. Let's do our player animation. So we'll create a new folder, player. Just open up our animation. Alrighty. So no animation object selected. Let's put that up here. Alright, so first thing first, we need to animate our player, so I gotta drag him into the scene here. Alright, so he's right there. We're gonna go ahead and just rename him to player. Open up this guy, create an animation for him. We're gonna call this the walk animation. Alrighty. And I'm going to take all of these guys. Let me see here. Okay, I'm not sure what that animation actually is. Alright, that's the weapon. I think these are hands. Weapon, hands, and then this is walking. I believe. Alright, let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's walking. Good deal. Alright, let's go ahead and make this, what is this? How many frames is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames. Alright, so we can have them move like that, or we can speed it up a bit, maybe like 16. No, definitely not 16. 8. Alright, 8 frames it is. Good deal. Alright, let's see here. So we have our walk animation. That is good. Happy with that. Gonzalo, I don't know if there's a Ludum Dare actually going on this weekend. I don't believe there is. Is there? Ludum Dare. I thought about it. I was going to, you know, I told myself this year I never really participate. Oh shit, dude, it is April 21st to the 24th. Well, would you look at that? I totally forgot it was this week. I thought it was like in May sometime. Here, let me read it real quickly because maybe I will create a 48-hour game. Hold on, I'm checking it out here. Let's see, Ludum Dare 38 on the Alpha website. What's the rules for theme for this game? Sorry for the late post. Okay. Let's see. Register an account. Log in, suggest themes. We'll be migrating the data. Yeah. Good deal. Enabled everything just to see what heaven looks like. It's done. Wow, how much effort is it to find what the theme is? Okay, here we go. Welcome to Ludum Dare 38. Final round theme voting is live. Alright, it starts at 9 p.m. So it started a couple hours ago. Rules. Ludum Dare hosting guide. I'm also pretty sure with the rules of Ludum Dare, don't you, if you're not working on a team, or like if you work by yourself, don't you have to create all of the assets by yourself? I don't do art. Like beyond stick figures, I do not do art. Let me see theme selection. Okay, theme funnel, dark light. You control the game, not the player. Okay, this round is ended. What is the actual theme? Is this it? So dark light, you control the game, not the player. Parallel dimensions. Pausing has consequences. Keep it alive. 2 colors. Island. A world in the skies. You are alone. Inconvenient superpowers. On off. Death is only the beginning. Start with nothing. 1 tool. Many uses. Everything has a cost. A small world. Huh. Pretty cool. If you guys can find me an asset pack that fits any of this, then I will happily create a Ludum Dare and spend 48 hours on that. But since I wasn't preparing for that or have any art assets, I spent like an hour on open game art trying to find some 2D stuff to do. But if you can find me something for this, then yeah, sure, I'll create the Ludum Dare theme. I just won't partake in the actual Ludum Dare. But yeah, no problem. Alright, let me see here. Alright, so I got this player here. I got him animating. I'm going to make him bigger in our game view because he's super tiny. He's a 64 by 64 sprite, I believe, which is a big problem. Let me see here. Main camera. We are in orthographic. Our size 15. 1. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's go and make that like a 3, 2. Nah, you know what? I want to keep that at 5, honestly. Let me see here. What is his sprite? This astronaut is... Okay, he is 17 by 32, 15 by 32. Oh my god, he's so tiny. Too tiny. I'm just gonna stretch him. There we go, that works. 5 by 5. 3 by 3. Alright, and actually, not before I stretch him here, let me try something. I want to go to this. Pixels per unit. Let's go ahead and make it like... let's make it 256. There we go. Alright, 16-bit. So now he is a good size. We'll do the same thing with the alien ship as well. Alright, so we got our player here. Let's go ahead and just create a scripts folder for the time being. I don't know what we're going to create. First, probably the character controller. So what I already know that in order to move, you're going to use the AW keys, the A and D keys to move left and right, and that will control the mechanism animation. And then we will also, I don't know if we'll jump. I think we're going to keep it flat. But we do have a gun, so let's go ahead and set up our gun. Alright, let's go ahead and actually set up the character a bit first. Alright, let's go ahead and create our player script. Let that reload. It's taking forever to load. What's it doing? Oh, there we go. Alrighty, while this opens, I'm trying to think of some cool things I'm going to implement for this game. So let's see here, player, we're going to go ahead and inside our update here, that's it. So first thing first is we need our movement along the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and say float input equals input dot get access. Actually, wait, what's wrong with that? Never mind. Input dot get access. All right, we're gonna do the horizontal axis for the A and D keys and arrow keys. Alright, so -1 is left, +1 is right, and 0 is, or not moving is 0. Let's see here. So float input, and then what I want to do is I need to get a rigid body of our character. So we will have rigid body. We're going to go and say rigid body equals this dot rigid body 2D. Let's see here. I don't know what the hell unit is doing. Alright, let me see here. Dude, what is going on? Alright, so on our player here we need a rigid body 2D. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Rigid body 2D. Simulated, sure. Yeah. Constraints, info, all that stuff looks good. Gravity scale is 1, sure. Okay, so, alright, let's go ahead and modify this. So we have a rigid body. Let me see here. What does that say? Alright. Cannot implicitly convert type component to rigid body. Yeah. Component dot rigid body get. Right. Rigid body 2D. Alright, good deal. Alright, so here we go. So we've got a rigid body 2D and we have our player script, and we can now hit the A and D key. What I want to do next is I need access to our mechanism. So private animator. Let's say anim. And we need to actually set up some states for the animation. So let's see here. Player. And we want to set up this. Where is our animator? Alrighty. So we're going to go entry to walk, and this condition for that, state machine transition. Hold on. I don't want to go to walk. I want idle, actually. No, that's fine, actually. Let's see. Conditions. Alright, where is our speed? Parameters. We'll create, oops, I'm going to say speed. Alright, so for this, we will say if speed is greater than 0, then we walk to the right. And if speed is less than 0, we walk to the left. Alrighty. So both of these conditions, regardless, are going to play this walk animation. And then here, we'll have an empty state. And we won't do anything, basically. We will say when speed Oh, right. Okay. You know what? Hold on, actually. Because of the way this works, I'm actually going to do an absolute value. So I'm actually not going to have to do that. This new state will happen when it's greater than 0.1. And then we will just flip this value. So any state walk. Don't need that guy. I'm going to delete him. Alright, so if speed is greater than 0.1, we're going to walk. And then for this new state, this is our idle. When speed is less than 0.1. Alright, good deal. Alright, so let's see here. So rigid body equals this.get component rigid body. Float input equals input.get access horizontal. And I want to use that to control my character. So we're going to say anim.setFloat. The parameter is speed, and it's going to be based on input from the user. Save that. Let's go and test that out. Hold on, our player. Gravity scale set to 0. Let me see, controller, player, transition, in state, any state uses parameter which does not exist in controller. Alright, hold on. Let's do this. I want to change. I want to create new blend tree now. I want to set layer as default state, yes. And then I want to create transition. When do we go to walk? Here we go. We go to walk when speed is greater than 0.1. And we go back to idle when speed is less than 0.1. Good. Alright, and we shouldn't fall anymore. Cool. Alright, except for the fact that now nothing is happening, which means something's wrong here. Input equals input.getAccess horizontal, our speed, and then input. So our logic here says we go to idle when speed is less than 0.1, and we go to walk when speed is greater than 0.1. And capital S speed. So why isn't that working? It was a float, right? It wasn't an int. Duh. Have to attach the player class. Alright, cool. So, let's see here. Getting an object reference not set to an instance of an object. Why are we getting that? Line 19. Anim.setFloat. Right, I never initialized anim. So we need to say anim equals getComponent animator. Alright, now this should work pretty nicely. And now we need to make it flip our character if we're hitting the left key. Alright, and there you go. So, what is happening there though? Why is that happening? The A key works for like a second. Okay, there we go, that was weird. Alright, so 1.0, and yeah, I need to make that absolute value. So I'm going to go ahead and say here equals mathf.abs, put that in there. Alrighty, now we have a walking space dude. Alright, so I can walk. Great. Let's go ahead and we'll add a speed to him as well so we can actually move him a bit. And I also need to flip him, so, or actually no, we'll make it to where you can only move forward, move in the forward direction in this game. And I think we also want to do input.getAccess raw. So there's no float value really. Should be much smoother. Yeah. Alright, good deal. Alright, so basically you're going to move forward and we're going to have a gun here. I'm going to go ahead and set up his weapon now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our character. Let's go ahead and add his gun. So he's got some sprites here. He's got a little weapon. I'm not sure what the hell that sprite is. Alright, he's got himself a little rifle that we'll have right there. Let's see, do I have a hand for that? Alright, it's the gun. Does he have a hand that kind of goes over it or something? He does. Hand. Very cool. Alright, good deal. So, I imagine this is the grip right here he's holding. And that's the kickback, but his hand goes through it? What? Maybe I need to bring it back. There we go. Alright, good deal. He looks like he's holding that thing pretty well. Alright, cool. So we got our gun, we got our hand, we can move. Sweet. Alright, looks good. Alright, let's go getting some backgrounds in here. So we have here this blue background. Might not make much of a difference, but maybe. And let's go ahead, what is this? This is 512 by 512. Let's do 100. Alrighty. So we will make this fill the screen. Alright, we're just going to fill the game view here with this background. Alrighty. Alright, that looks good. Order and layer. Sorting layer. Let's go ahead and add foreground and background. So here we have our background. And then we have our foreground. Alrighty. This background here, this background. Our player is on the foreground, as well as all of his items. These guys are on foreground. Alright, good deal. So now we have that. Let's go ahead and add our blue background. This is our background element. And then we can have some more scenery in here. So we have our background. And then inside that, let's go ahead and add some of these environment sprites. Let's go ahead and cut these. Turn them into a multiple sprite. And we'll cut them, we'll slice and dice. Okay, that looks pretty good. Hit apply. Alright, now we have some environments that we can use. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. Check this one out. Just some scenery in the background. Let me see here. What are these guys? These are 512 naturally. So let's increase that. Why is it doing that? Super annoying. just gonna stretch this up. Well, that looks pretty awful. Alright, let's go and get a foreground element in there. Let me see here. Let's see, environment sprites. Oh, here, we're actually going to create a parallax effect on this. Because I'm not going to create a map that's going to go all the way out here. Instead, I'm going to have them, as you move forward, the map is just kind of going to shift to the left. And we'll have like objects and enemies ready to come in here, and they'll spawn in and stuff like that as we move. And we'll have to basically move our mouse to shoot them. The goal here is what we're going to do is we're going to take this gun, and we will be rotating it along the Z to basically wherever our mouse is, we're gonna basically that's where we're gonna shoot and so forth. So that will be fun. All right, and you'll see some math that requires a bit of angle math to get that working. Let me see here. All right, let's go ahead and get one of these other environment things on there. It's red. Let's see here. Foreground. There we go. This will be what we're walking on. Alright, there we go. So now it actually looks like we're kind of stepping on this thing. And what we can do now... Alright, so it looks like we're walking and good deal. Now what I want to do is I want to move this entire background. The foreground I think can stay the same for the most part. I am going to move this background, which is actually going to lead to a new problem. Parallaxing in the new 2D engine is such a pain in the ass. It used to be really, really simple to do it the old way before Unity 2D. So I'm actually going to do it that way. I'm actually going to turn instead of sprites, I'm actually going to turn these guys into, I'm not going to use a background or a foreground. I'm actually going to use quads for these because that way I can do a traditional parallax. Which in my opinion is just so much better and easier to do. So let's see here, we're going to create a 3D object and we're going to create a quad. Okay, and this will be our background. Alrighty, and stretch it up. Alright, so let's see here, the mesh material for this guy. What symbol are we going to put on here? I need to, alright, this blue background for instance. This guy can actually stay a sprite, so he will stay a sprite. Alright, so we got our sprite. This background here, okay, we'll say background, then we'll say mountains. Mountains are a quad, and those guys are part of the environments. Ooh, this might suck. Because these are like individual atlases. They're not cut. I don't know if I could do that. Hold on. If I have this mountain, shit, no I can't. I don't think I can do that. crap. Alright, hold on. I'm looking for a mountain texture PNG. Well, you know what? Maybe I will do a normal parallax. Ah, damn it. Alright, we will worry about that towards the polish stage. I'm going to go ahead and finish some of the game mechanics in here. For now, I am going to throw this back in. Alright, big mountains in the back. Alright, so you got mountains, and then we have, so you got this rock. We have our foreground. Alright, so our foreground is there. Our player, this guy look like he's on it? Yes. Alright, good deal. Alright, so we are on it. We're good here. Let me go ahead and just save this real quickly. Alrighty. Go to students folder. Put that in the games. Alright, cool. So, alright, so now we're going to actually do some actual coding here. I'm probably going to do some advanced coding, things that I'm starting to get into with my tutorial series. So while we're in the live stream, if you have any questions at any time, you can go ahead and ask them, and I will answer them. And if you want to see a demonstration of something, or if you have a game feature idea that you want to see, just ask and I will try and implement it. Alright, so on this player, I think we're good here for now. We can move, and I can animate, and that's what's important. Sorry, I'm animating and so forth. What I want to do now is I want to go ahead and create the functionality to wherever my mouse is, it's going to rotate my gun. And that's going to require a bit of math to do. So, what I'm going to do here, in order to do this, I need to know where my mouse is. So, let me see here for a sec. Looking for no, I don't want to download any packages. Alright, so basically what I want to do, right, is where my mouse is I need to say, hey, if my mouse is up here in the corner, I want my gun to rotate to the corner so that I'm aiming at what I'm shooting, right? So I need to, first thing first, is I need to get a reference to my mouse position. So my mouse position is the camera. Is the camera.main.screen to world point, and I use input.mouse position. Alright, so what this is going to do is basically where my mouse is in the world, like screen to, so from my screen to world point, which is world space, I'm going to grab my mouse position, which is going to return a vector 3. And what I need to do now is I need to calculate the direction to aim, or to face. So we're going to say direction, and we're going to do some math here where we're going to say my mouse position subtracted from the weapon's position. So I actually need to get a reference to that weapon. Let me see here. That is a sprite, so we're going to say public sprite renderer, and we'll say weapon. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say weapon dot, can I access that? Transform dot position. Let me see, mouse pose, yeah. Okay, so that's gonna, what this will do is, so the calculate direction, guys, it's delta x equals x2 minus x1, which is the basically direction equals destination, which is my mouse pose, minus the source, which is the weapon. And that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so now that I have my weapon position, the direction to go, what I need to do now is I'm going to normalize the direction because it's going to be like 7 units and I only want a length of 1. So I'm going to say direction.normalize, and then now I need to calculate the angle. Before I do that, let me set this guy up. Where is my player? Alright, we're going to give him the weapon sprite. So he's got the gun. Alrighty, good deal. Alright, so now what I need to do, guys, is I need to calculate this angle. So let's head on over to here, and we're going to say float angle, which is going to be the angle to rotate. We're going to say mathf. We're going to use arctangent. I'm going to use arctangent 2. And this is going to return the angle in radians whose tangent is y over x. So basically I have my direction, so I'm going to say direction.y and direction.x, and that's going to divide those two, and it's going to give me a scalar value for which we're going to rotate by. And then times it by mathf.rad to degrees, because it's going to return it in radians. I need to convert it to degrees to get that scalar. Right? And then what I can do is I can say weapon. So weapon's a sprite. I need its transform. And I'm going to say rotation of that transform is now equal to quaternion.angle axis is what I want. This takes an angle, so I'm going to pass in my angle. And then it has an axis that you want to use. I want to use the z-axis. So I'm going to say vector3 dot forward. Alright. This should work, hopefully. It'd be nice if it did. Let's take a look. Go ahead and run this. Alright, and there you go. So wherever my mouse is pointing, you can see my gun is also pointing towards it. Now it looks like my gun kind of, you can see it kind of went on the other side of my player. I wonder if that's because I am on a wrong layer. So he needs to actually be there on a 1. And now if I do it again, there you go. Alright, so we got our gun. We have our character. I can move and hold the gun, aim it, and all that good stuff. I wonder, ooh, does this guy rotate too? Can I rotate the hand with him? Like, does that work? I'm trying to see if I could also rotate the hands. I don't know if I can. Oh, regardless, here, hold on, actually. Maybe I can. Why can't we see those? Alright, hold on. Let me redo that. Okay, it's on the outside of the gun, and if I rotate that... Oh, weird. What does that do? Oh, here, let's parent it to the gun. How does this look? Alright, there we go, kind of. So now his hand is kind of rotating with it, you can see. So it looks a little funky, but I'm actually okay with it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the shoot script. Let's go ahead and see here. So what I'm going to do here is we have a muzzle flash on this gun, so every time I fire, I'm going to create a muzzle flash for it. So here on the gun, we have a muzzle flash, which is going to be an image. Hold on, actually, where is it? Okay, here we go, muzzle flash. Alright, it's black for some reason. What if I made it this and transparent? Why is it black? That's super annoying. There's like no alpha channel on that thing. What the hell? Oh my gosh. This thing is literally black? Why? Who does that? Alright, 1 second. Let me see here if we can make this not suck. Damn it. Oh, I wanted this muzzle flash. Alright, hold on. Let me see if I can create a material for this thing that will get rid of that. Alrighty. Maybe that worked. I do not know. I don't know where it is. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I have no idea where the hell that just went. Weird, what the hell is going on there? Order and layer, like 4. The fuck? Okay, weird, I'm actually not 100% sure why that's happening. It's also grayed out, so hold on, I don't want that. I want to use UI, unlit, transparent. Damn it. Yeah, that puts the whole thing transparent. Shoot. That's super annoying. Alright, hold on. I gotta find a muzzle flash sprite. Oh, here, you know what? I want this too. Sorry, I'm going to use this, I think. I need one that's transparent. I'm looking for art assets right now on Google. Let me see. Muzzle flash sprite, PNG transparent. Alright, here we go, I found one. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use this guy. Save image. Space Odyssey. Assets. Sprites. Alright, here we go. Got a new sprite, muzzle flash. Delete that one. Got this one here. This one is transparent. Good deal. Alright, here we go. This will be our muzzle flash now. Here, hold on. Actually, I'm going to cut this. There we go. Alrighty, so we got this muzzle flash, and what is the actual image size of that? 420. There we go. Alright, here's our muzzle flash. Put that near the gun, like right there. Set its foreground layer. Set it to 1. Alrighty, good deal. So this is our muzzle flash here. Alright, put that into the gun. Alright, and we're going to need reference to that because we're going to want to enable that and disable that when we're firing. So I think what we're gonna do too is let's do single shot fire for now. Alright, so let's open back into our scripts. And let's go and create our weapon here. Alright, so here we go. So for our weapon here, right now this is basically calculating the direction. Now we're going to go ahead and shoot. So here I'm going to go ahead and create our shoot method. And basically in order to shoot, you're just going to click basically. So we got to check if you click. So here, if you left click, and actually, you know what? Should I put this in its own class or should I keep it in the player class? I'll keep it in here for now. Alright, so here we go. So, if you left click, alright, so if input dot get key down dot get mouse button down. Alright, so if we left click, then we are going to call the shoot method shoot. And here we have void shoot. Alright, so first thing we're going to do when we shoot is we are going to turn on our muzzle flash, which means we need a reference to it. Alright, so we got our muzzle flash. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make it to where you hold down to fire. So you can fire as long as you want while holding down. And when you lift up, you stop firing. That's what I'm going to do. So here, if get mouse button is 0, then we're going to go ahead and shoot. And let me see here. If input.getMouseButton 0 is shoot, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say muzzle flash dot renderer dot enabled, or muzzle flash dot enabled is true. That's going to turn it on. And then I believe inside here we should just go ahead and say else muzzle flash dot enabled equals false. Alright, so if we go ahead and click on our player, give it the muzzle flash, and if we run this, there you go. As long as I'm holding down, we have that muzzle flash there. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually bring this game to life a bit. Let's go ahead and get into some audio stuff with the sounds. We have our click. Do we have a hit? We have a shot. Alright, so we're gonna have a fire rate, right? We're gonna play that, I guess. Okay, so here we go. So let's go ahead and determine our fire rate for our gun. So here we have public float fire rate, and we'll say right now it's 0.25 F. So basically you can hold it down as long as you want, but it's only going to fire every 0.25 seconds. And then we will need a private variable to know if 0.25 seconds has passed. So we're going to say here can fire equals -1. And what I'm going to do here is when you're shooting, muzzle flash dot enabled equals true. And here I'm going to check actually. We're going to say if time.time is greater than can fire. So if time.time is greater than can fire, then we're going to go ahead and say muzzle flash dot enabled equals true. And then we're going to say can fire equals time.time plus our fire rate. And that way it's going to force us to wait 0.25 seconds. So here, if it's not the case, we're going to go ahead and say muzzle flash dot enabled equals false. Alright, so now what should happen is we should get almost like a burst effect. So let's go ahead and check that out. And there you go. You got a burst effect going. Alright, so now let's go ahead and look at our shot sound. Alright, so every time we turn the muzzle on, we're going to go ahead and play our shot sound. And we'll have to see how this works. Let me see here. Our gun is going to have an audio clip source. It's going to have a clip for shot. Play on awake, no. Priority. Shot is a 2D sound, right? Make sure. Man, these settings have changed. Load type. Is that like not a thing anymore? 2D sounds and 3D sounds? What is forced to mono? No. Should be okay. Basically, I don't want to have any volume. It's 2D, so it should be good. Alright, so shot is there. On our gun is shot. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do here is we have access to our gun through the weapon here. I'm going to go inside that and get the audio source. So the gun has an audio source. Alright, so we're going to say here private audio source. We're going to say gunshot. Alright, and then gunshot equals the weapon dot transform dot get component audio source. Alright, let's go ahead and test this out. Alright, so we got our gun, and I hear nothing. Why? Hold on. Volume is 1. Oh, no, okay, hold on. Here's the 2D sound. 3D sound settings. Is this a fucking 3D sound? Oh, duh. Sorry guys, I never actually enabled it. So here, muzzle flash dot enabled equals true. Gunshot dot play. Alright, here we go. There is no audio source attached to the gun. Oh, where did I put that? Was I in play mode? Damn it. Rookie mistake. Alright, hold on. Shot. Okay, now this should work. Should be good. Alright, cool. So now we have this little Call of Duty burst action going. That's from that's an old error. Alright, good deal. So I got my burst going here. Alright, now let's go ahead and actually have something to kill. Alright, so now that I'm actually shooting though, that's not the end of it. What I need to do now is I actually need to cast a ray where I'm pointing at, because I want to be able to shoot who I'm killing, you know? Like I want to be able to, like for instance, there's a spaceship that's going to fly around and I'm going to shoot it and destroy it. In order for me to know that I hit that spaceship, I need to cast a ray. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is we're shooting, which is doing all the visual effects, but I actually need to process the actual ray. So what I'm going to do here is muzzle flash dot enabled equals true gunshot dot play, can fire, and then I'm going to let all of this play out because that's just presentation stuff. But what I do want to do every time we're holding it is I want to have a constant ray, a RAYCAST. So I'm going to go ahead and say here, we're going to ray, and then we're going to say ray origin equals the camera.main, and actually I'm sorry, no. This RAYCAST is going to come from my weapon. So I want to use this information to cast the ray. So if I'm left shooting, so here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cast the ray, and then I'm going to have to pass information about what I hit into the shoot method to know if I should deal damage or not. So let's go ahead and do this. So here we're going to work with a 2D ray, and I'm actually not 100% sure how to set up the 2D ray. So I'm just going to head on over to RAYCAST 2D and check it out. Alright, so it looks like here they do RAYCAST hit 2D hit equals physics2d.raycast from the position in a direction. Easy enough. What if my direction is diagonal though? This is distance, height, force, add force. Interesting. We will have to see the vector representing the direction of the ray. I hope we can use just my direction. Let's see if this will work. So RAYCAST hit 2D hit, and then we're going to do physics2d.raycast. Alright, so we're going to say physics2d. We're going to say hit info equals physics2d physics2d.raycast. Alright, the origin is the mouse position. No, the origin is the weapon dot position. And then the direction is our direction variable. Alright, I'm very curious to know what that hit, so I'm going to go ahead and say here, if hit info does not equal null, I want to debug.log what we hit. So I'm going to say hit info or hit. We're going to say hit plus hit info dot tag or name, info dot name. The fuck, hit info dot. Why does this not work? What did I do wrong? Oh, okay, one sec. What did I do wrong? Physics 2D, RAYCAST hit 2D? Right? I did that. Oh, I did physics 2D, my bad. RAYCAST hit 2D, hit info, and then hit info dot name. Transform.name. Alright, good deal. So this should print out whoever I hit. What I need to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take this sprite and the alien spaceship. I'm going to put that in there. This guy is a 16-bit thing, so alien spaceship, 16 bits. Alright, he looks much better. We're going to put him over here. Alright, alien ship. And we need to give him a box collider. Okay, and he should be good. So I should be able to shoot him. And make sure he's on the foreground layer. It's on a 1. Alright, so hopefully I can shoot him. Let's take a look. Sweet. Well, that was easy. Hold on. Object reference offset to an instance on player 42. I said if hit info not equal null though. The fuck? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. That means I'm accessing something that doesn't exist, which shouldn't be happening. Not sure how I'm getting that, but okay. Alright, let's see here. So, oh, that's a problem. Hit alien ship is getting called before I did anything? Well, is it just from hovering? Okay, well, long story short, it is working where I'm hovering. I don't know why I'm getting this though. Let me see here. RAYCAST hit 2D hit info equals physics2d.raycast. Something with that. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Hold on. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Why is it doing that? Alright, let me see here. Hey Khaled, how's it going? Okay, so let me see. There's an issue big time here. Okay, so we can fire, we can shoot and all that good stuff. He's got a box collider on him. We have our player. We have our rigid body 2D. Alright, I'm doing RAYCAST hit 2D hit info equals physics2d.raycast. And the weapons position in the direction we want to shoot. Let's see. Alright, no errors there. Now let me add that log back. Hold on. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to make this guy alien ship. I'm going to give him a layer on bit shift 8. So, what? Yeah, 8. I'm going to go ahead and say enemy, and I'm going to ignore that layer. Oh, well, hold on, actually, do I need to output that? Let's see here, mathf.infinity, and then we're going to say 1 bit shift 8. Alright, so that's going to ignore layer 8, which is the enemy here. I'm going to give him a layer of enemy. Now we can only hit him, so we can't really do damage to anything else. Alright, so alien ship is hit. I don't know why this is happening. Oh, well. If hitinfo.collider not equal null, meaning you hit something with a collider, then do this. Now does that work? I think that's what it wanted. There we go. Okay. Alright, good deal. Now real quickly, let me test something here. Alright, cool. So we can only, so as you can see, I'm aiming like straight ahead right now. Yeah, hey Andy, if you actually check out my 2D tutorial, I actually cover how to animate sprites and walking and flipping and all that good stuff. I actually have this guy walking as well. If I hit the D key, he will play his walk animations. I cover that in one of my 2D videos covering the mechanism system. So you should go check that out if you want to see how it's done. Alright, so I shoot the spaceship, and now what I need to do is I need to be able to deal damage, and I want to have an explosion effect happen for him. So I am going to get some explosion PNG effects. Let me see, explosion sprite PNG. So I'm going to go ahead and animate one of these, and we're going to play it when he dies. Transparent. Just looking on Google right now for a good one. Alright, good deal here. We're going to use this one here. So we're going to save, and we're going to animate this to explode. Alright, so here's our explode.png. And let's go ahead and animate this now. So we're going to go into our animation window. I need to drop this guy in. I need to cut it up first. Turn it into a multiple sprite. Alright, we're going to go ahead and slice and dice. Everything looks good. Ooh, no it doesn't. Damn it, I have to manually do these ones. Hold on. Okay, that looks fine. And then this one. It's not perfect, but personally don't care. I don't know if you'll notice it enough. But, let me see here. Okay, everything else looks pretty solid. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up this animation here. I'm going to put the first one in. This is our explosion. It is on the foreground layer. It's on a 1. Alright, so here's our explosion here in the scene. Alright, so there we go. We got our explosion. How's it looking, game? Pretty good. What's the size of these? 60. So let's go ahead and change this to 60. Alright, good deal. Alright, so here's our explosion. I'm going to go ahead and animate this now. We're going to go in here. We're going to click on the explosion. Create a new clip for our explosion. Put in the animations folder. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all of these sprites, put them in here, and we can watch it in real time, the explosion. Shit, I don't want to move it. I'm going to delete that frame. Well, I'm going to stop animating for a sec. Alright, let's go ahead and check this out. So we're exploding, and let's go ahead and make it like 21 frames. So it has like a dissolve effect. You can see at the end. Kind of dissolves. Let me do 12. Alright, so it explodes. Hold on. Looks like, ah man, that's annoying. It cut them in the wrong order. Hold on. 0, 1, 0. That is not 1. Go 0. Then 19. Alright, 1 second actually. Because I don't want them that spaced out. We're going to do 0, 19, 20, 21. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we can go to the rest. Alright, so let's check that out. Fuck. Why is that like that? I think I'm okay with that. So that one, let's go and speed it up to like 24 frames per second. Alright, so it's going to explode and evaporate basically. Alright, I'm happy with that. We're going to go ahead and stop recording. Alright, we have our explosion now. Let's head to our game here. And what we need to do now is turn that into a prefab. So let's go here, create a folder, prefabs. Alright, put the explosion into the prefabs, and we are set. And actually, you know what? We do need to do one thing to this prefab. When it gets created, right, when we instantiate this, I want a script that's going to automatically play its animation, because I don't think it's going to automatically do it. Or will it? Okay, no, it will. Awesome. And then, okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it play its animation and then destroy itself after that. So, and I think maybe I can do that directly through the animation. Let's see. That would be great if I could. So here it's at the end of the animation. Alright, so here it's going through its particle stuff. And then it gets to here. Alright, so when it gets to here, let's go and add a property. Transform. No, I don't want to touch any of that stuff. Oh, actually, you know what? What if I just delete it? Did that record? I don't know if that did. Let's see. It did not. Alright, we will just have a script that's going to clean this up then. That's what's going to happen. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Actually, we don't need a script at all. I can just say play once and so forth. So, hold on. We can edit the explosion clip. So if we go to animations here, we have this explosion. Just turn off loop time and it will only play once and it won't loop. So now we are set on that. Let's go ahead and make it to where we can destroy that alien ship here. And then we'll create a spawn system for it. Let me see here. So we can destroy this explosion here. Alright, so this alien ship, we're going to eventually spawn more. So let's turn him into a prefab as well. And then what I want to do now is we need to be able to damage him. So I'm going to go ahead and create an enemy ship here. And what I'm going to do, how do I want to do this? Let's just do it simple. We're going to create an enemy script. And then I think what we'll do is we'll have him maybe shoot at the player as well in a diagonal fashion. So we're going to create a health script actually. So we each have health. Alright, so I'm going to put health on the alien ship and I'm going to put health on the player. Alright, he's got health and the player has health. Alright, so because I'm putting this on each one is getting its own health script. It's going to be very cool. How's it going, QTFVR Guitar? Nice, dude. You're in Vietnam. Sweet. That's awesome. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, guys, is this is the generic health script, so it's not just specific to anyone. It's very generic, so it's going to be working for both of us. So, everyone has a min health. Just kidding. Everyone has a max health. Alright, and then everyone has a current health. So we have current health and we have max health. What else do we share? We share that when the game starts, our current health will equal the max health. We'll say max health. We set that in the inspector. So for me it will be 100, maybe for him it's like 10. We each share a damage function. Now, check this out. Public class health. We each share this, but check this out. I may want my player to override something on the health, I think. So let me see here. So we each have a health, or I'm sorry, a damage method. Alright, so we each take damage. And let me see here. So public class health. We have max health and current health. Our current health will equal the max health at start. Okay, hey, Andy, here, everyone give me a second here. I have the link here. It's the 2D tutorial series. So if you go to my playlist, it's the Unity 3D 2D series, the Unity 3D C# 2D series. Here, I'll go ahead and just give you the link right here. There you go. And that's for how to do the sprite animations. I believe it's in the first video. Alright, so we all have a damage function, and when we call this damage function, we're going to take in an amount. Alright, and what we're going to do then is we're going to say our current health is subtracted by the amount you damage us. Alright, so here we'll call it damage amount. So whatever I pass into there is how much I get hurt by. So current health minus equals damage amount. And then here, we're going to go ahead and say if your current health is less than 1, you're dead, and therefore we want to go ahead and destroy and so forth. So this is where we need to differentiate between the player and the enemy, because the enemy is going to spawn something and the player is not going to do anything really. The player is just going to destroy probably. We'll say destroy this .gameObject. However, if you're the enemy, I want to instantiate, yes, I want to destroy you, but I also want to instantiate that thing, the explosion particle. So what I'm going to do here, I'm trying to think the best way to design this, because it's pointless for both of us to have control of an explosion prefab if only one of us is going to use that explosion prefab. So let me see here. Okay, what I'm going to do, okay, yeah. So I have this generic health script, and what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to override it. So I'm going to say public virtual void damage, and it's going to use this method, this implementation here, and what's going to happen is that the enemy is going to be able to override this method, and instead of destroying himself, he'll be able to add a variable for him. Alright, so check this out. So for me, if I die, it's just going to destroy me, which is great. Now say you were a designer or something like that, or you're another programmer, and you need to extend the ability of the health script, but you don't want to affect the player. The player works great. You can't touch the health script on the player. What you would do, and give me 1 second here, what's wrong? Oh, whoops, make that an int. Alright, here we go. So on the player, I have this health script, and I'm going to go ahead and say my health is 100 for max, and current health will be that when it starts. So when I die, I get destroyed. But when the alien ship dies, we want to instantiate the prefab. Now you'll see here we have the health script, right? Well, I want to basically have it to where he has an explosion particle, and it might be different per enemy. Maybe other enemies just destroy, right? So this guy is very unique. So that's why what we're going to do is we're going to create an alien script. So we're going to have an alien health, and he's very unique. So for him, we're going to remove the health script, and we're going to add the alien health script. Now this guy's going to be unique because we're actually going to derive from health. So alien health derives from health. And another way I could have done this is I actually could have created a health interface that requires me to implement a health interface, and I could have created an alien class, and I could have been forced to create my own custom damage function and so forth. But this is one way I think it might be better to go about it. So check this out. Because I'm inheriting from health, my alien will have all the properties of health. So I can still set a max and a min, or a max health and so forth in my current health. I can view it. Alien health. on, why didn't that update? What the hell? Why can't I see it? Here's health, and that's public int current health, and I should be able to, oh, that's weird, it like totally loaded that incorrectly. Okay, here we go. Alright, hold on. I want this guy to inherit health. Hold on, my thing is not compiling. There we go. Okay, there we go. Alright, that was weird. Alright, so check this out. On the alien health, all I did was inherit from health, and now I have max health, which I can set to 50, and I have current health. So I have the same properties as my initial one. However, now on the alien, I can say public game object explosion prefab. And what I can do here is now I can hold a reference to it. So here, max health, current health, explosion fab. Alright, so now the alien knows that he is supposed to explode. On top of that, there's a damage method that I need to now override. So I'm going to say public override, and you're going to see here, I can override the damage method. So now what's going to happen is what was I going to say? Sorry. This damage function will get called for the alien health, but the other damage function will get called for the player. So it's going to be pretty cool. Hey B Pirate, thanks for joining, dude. So check this out. So public override void damage, now damage amount. We're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to say current health minus equals damage amount. And all I'm doing is overriding the base method to use a custom method specifically for the alien. So that's why class inheritance and overriding classes and so forth like that is really awesome. So check this out. So current health minus equals damage amount. And then here, if we're dead, instead of destroying ourselves right away, I want to instantiate this explosion prefab. So if current health is less than 1, we're dead. I want to go ahead and say instantiate the explosion prefab. I want to do it at my position, and I want to do it, it's quaternion rotation, identity. Alright, so I want to do it at my rotation. And then, what else do I want to do here? Afterwards, let me see here, afterwards. Okay, yeah, and then here I want to say destroy game object. Yeah, I want to destroy the alien. Let's try this, see what happens. How it looks. Alright, so before we can even test this, I need to call this damage function. So in order to do that, in my player, when I hit something, I need to check and see if they have a health script attached to see if I even shot the enemy. So inside here, I am going to say shoot, and I'm going to pass in the hit info because I need to know it. So I'm going to go ahead and say here, RAYCAST hit 2D, and we're going to say hit info. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say shoot, and I'm going to pass in hit info. Alright, so whatever our RAYCAST hit is going to get passed into this method so I can use it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if hit info dot I'm sorry, I'm not actually going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to say health, enemy health equals hit info dot transform dot get component, and I'm looking for a health script. So if I can find the alien health script, then what we can do is we can call that damage function. So enemy health equals hit info dot transform dot get component health. Now notice I'm searching for health and not alien health. The reason why is because alien health is health, and if we look, what is health? Health is just takes me back to health, which is mono behavior. So alien health is just health with an added property. Alright, so still the same thing. So health, enemy health equals hit info dot transform dot get component health. And what I'm going to do here is if enemy health not equal null, meaning that we did indeed hit something with this health script, we're going to go ahead and call enemy health, and we're going to call its damage function. We're going to pass in, we'll say 10 damage amount, and we should have that as a variable. So we'll go ahead up here, we'll say public int damage amount, and we'll set to like 10 by default. And here we're going to go ahead and say, damage amount. Alright. And this should kill him. So let's go ahead and test this out. Alright, so we shoot object reference on to an instance of an object. That happened. Line 61. I don't know why it does that. Hold on. Oh, I don't know what this error is or why we're getting it. Hold on. Oh shit, there you go. Alright, well that worked. I'm going to fix the that null reference, but as you can see, hold on. Wow, it's super laggy there, what the fuck. I also can't fire anymore. Player.shoot RAYCAST hit 2D. It does not like this line. I don't know why. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to put it in this if statement. I don't know why it's complaining. If, let me see here. If hitinfo dot transform.get component dot health not equal null, then we're going to damage. And by damaging, we're going to say dot damage by the damage amount. Alright, there we go. Hopefully we'll get rid of that null reference. Yeah, I want to look at the alien ship as well. Weird. Okay, so I noticed that my muzzle flash like totally stopped working. Okay, I'm holding it down, my muzzle flash does not come back. What happened to that? So like, where'd it go? Hold on. Let's see, if we're holding down the left button, we're gonna shoot. And if time.time is greater than campfire, we're going to muzzle flash, else muzzle flash off. What the hell? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I don't want to do that. I only want to do that if we actually fire. So inside here, if we fire, then if we hit him, and then we do all that good stuff. Okay, there we go. There's my muzzle flash back. And if I shoot him, and there you go. Eventually he dies. And here, we'll go ahead and create a hit sound for him to have too. So if I look on the alien ship here, he's got 50 health, 40, 30, 20, boom, disappears. So we're going to go ahead and create a sound for the explosion. We're also going to go ahead and create a sound for getting hit. So let's look on the alien here. What else do we have for sounds? Oh, we have an explosion sound. Oh, sweet. Here, we'll play that. Explosion effect on the alien health. Here, public audio clip explosion effect. Alright, and what we're going to do here is right after we instantiate it, we're going to go ahead and say audio source dot play clip at point, and we're going to say explosion effect. Alright, and then for the position, we'll go ahead and say vector3.0. Actually, you know what? We can say transform dot position. Okay. Oh, and this actually may cause a problem. I don't know if you can destroy an object that plays an audio clip. You cannot. Yeah, I did not like that. Hold on. Alien ship explosion. What does this game over sound?
Game over.
Game over. Nice. Alright, so let me see here. So we have this explosion effect. And I'm going to delay destroying us. So I'm going to say transform dot renderer dot enabled. No, transform dot renderer dot enabled dot set active. How do I turn this off? Transform dot renderer dot enabled. No. Let's see, I need to turn off the renderer component on this guy. Where is that? Oh, it's a sprite renderer. Okay. Transform dot sprite renderer. Transform dot get component sprite renderer dot enabled equals false. And then here, destroy this dot game object, and we'll say after 1.0. 1 second. And this should work. I'm going to try and fix this null reference in a little bit. I don't know why we're getting that. It's very annoying. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and shoot him. Boom. There you go. Now we have the explosion sound. What I am going to do is we're going to add his hit sound. So audio clip hit. Alright, and what we're going to do here is every time he gets damaged, we're going to say current health minus equals damage amount. And we're also going to audio source dot play clip at point, hit sound. And now every time we hit him, not only will the hit sound play, but when he dies, the explosion sound will play. I never added it. So, hit sound. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, let me see here. Explosion hit. Cool. Alright, so actually, you know what? Let me see something. Alright, good deal. Trying to think what else I should add to this simple game. Alright, shoot that. Let's see, main player. See how this looks. Let me turn the volume down for that. Maybe like 65. So I kind of want to have some notification that I'm actually hitting him, because as you can see right now, I have no idea I'm hitting him. There's no visual cue that I'm hitting him. So let's go ahead and create something. I wonder if there's like a sprite, like kind of like red damage effect, if that makes sense. Let me see. There's something online for that. Damage effect, sprite PNG. Or hit marker is what it's called, right? Hit marker, sprite PNG. Huh. Let's see, hit marker sprite or hit marker PNG sprite. Ah, damn. Find anything. Come on. Shoot, I can't find like any assets for that. But I'm trying to think what else I could do. Or here, let me see. Bloodshot PNG. Let me see here. Here we go. Bloodshot pixel sprites. Use one of these. Yeah, alright. We'll use one of these. I don't know if it will let me drag that in. Dang it. I need a transparent sprite PNG. Bloodshot pixel PNG sprite. Damn, I'm finding like a bunch of good ones, but none of them are transparent backgrounds, so I can't use them. Super annoying. There we go, finally. Alright, we're gonna use this one. Alright, this is the blood hit. And it's got an animation to play with it, so we will do that. Alright, these blood hits. Let's see, let's go ahead and cut them. Alright, good deal. Sliced automatically. Apply. Alright, let's go ahead and create this. Blood hit. We'll go into our animation. We'll create a new one. Call it blood. Okay, and we will add all of them. Let's do that. Alright, so at 24 frames per second, how does this look? Hold on, can't see it. Dude, holy shit, how tiny is that? My god. Hold on. What are these guys? These guys are 28 by 39. Shit. Alright, there we go. Now we can see it. Blood hit. Record. Alright, cool. So we use that one. Alright, good deal. Alright, so every time we hit the enemy, we're going to go ahead and do that blood shot, that blood hit. Alright, so we need to turn into a prefab. The alien ship needs to know about his blood hit prefab. So we're going to go ahead and say public game object, blood hit. Alright, every hit, we're going to go ahead and say blood hit. Sorry, we're going to instantiate it. Alright, create identity, instantiate that. Alright, blood hit fab. Alright, so we instantiate the blood hits now. And I need to make sure it doesn't loop. Blood hit. There we go. Alright, the alien ship now knows about blood hit. Delete it. And blood hit. Awesome. Alright, so now every time I shoot it, it should do a splash of blood. There we go. And there's some extra, whatever shit that is. Looks like it froze on that animation. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this blood splat a bit. The way I'm gonna do that is I need a reference to this game object. So I'm gonna say game object blood equals instantiate blood, and then I'm going to go ahead and say destroy blood after like 0.5 seconds. And that will clean it up out of the scene. Yeah, this asset is from Osborne's devassets.com. You guys should totally check it out. It's cool. It's devassets.com is like a it's like a HumbleBundle for game dev. It's like pretty freaking sweet. There's some really good stuff on here. But yeah, it's like HumbleBundle for game dev assets, and like the models on here are insane. So but I figured it would be a good starting point for some 2D stuff. Alright. Also, I'm probably going to be up all night just working on random shit. If somebody wants to find a free like art pack of a game genre, I will walk through creating that game in the same process that I'm doing here, where I kind of like think out loud. If someone can find me free assets for a game idea you want to see made or want to learn how to make, if you get me the assets, then I will do it while I'm on. Alright, so in the meantime here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a little spawn system, and I actually wish I could rotate this guy. Let me see. Can he rotate? Can this alien dude rotate? If I were to rotate him, no, I can't rotate him like that. Can I rotate him on his like? No. Damn. Although, you know what? I could. What does that look like? 2D. Yeah, no. Doesn't really look that good. Oh, maybe actually. I'm not sure. Alright, let's get maybe his bullets going. I honestly don't know actually what more I could possibly do for this game. This game is too simple stuffs. Let's see, there's a spawn manager I could create for this guy. I could have him attack me. I don't know. Let me see here. Maybe I'll, shoot, I don't know, maybe this is a stopping point for this one. This one kind of, I don't know. Assets are discouraging with this game. There's not really much more to really do. There's nothing super advanced or super difficult to implement in this. You know, not much of like a challenge per se. Maybe, I don't know. Should we, let's see, browse the asset store for packs? Maybe there's something cool we can create. If someone wants to go to like Open Game Art and browse assets, if you see something cool you like or if you have ideas, feel free to post them. I'm going to check the asset store real quickly. Let's see. Let's see what art packs are available, if any. Unity survival shooter made better with choreography. What is choreography? Oh, synchronizing gameplay to music in your video. Huh, what a cool asset. Let's see. Trying to think what like total game packs there are. Like everyone creates FPSs. If you guys want to see an FPS, they're super easy and you can do some cool advanced stuff. Like if you want to see like a Call of Duty game or a zombie shooter. What's it called? RTS games are always fun if you want to see a like a Age of Empires type game created or some strategy game. It's just easier if you have like assets to work with. Finding RTS assets, like complete RTS assets, are pretty difficult. Yeah, I don't think. Let me see here. Kenny, Sci-Fi RTS. What is this? Huh. Check these out. Sci-Fi RTS sprites. I don't know what a lot of these sprites are. I I see like what I guess are barracks and buildings and little passenger cars. I don't think this gives you really everything. Oh, those are cool. RTS Advantage, Fixed Assets module. I don't know. You guys have any suggestions? The 4 of you guys watching, you guys want to go through a game together? What do you guys want to do? You guys want to make like, is there anything you want me to add to this? Like advance this? Do you want to see something done with this game? Do you want to maybe start like an RPG game? Like a, do you want to start like a rogue game with tile map generation? Do you want to start, RTS game, or a tower defense game, or a match 3 game? Anything you can find assets to, we can make. It's a matter of just finding it. What am I looking for? Let's see here. Complete game assets. Ooh, game packs. 14 complete audio background tracks. I feel like this is not legit. Maybe it is, let's see. Well, the fact that there's like no comments, I'm like hesitant to click this link. Let's see, a new game UI, sprite fonts, 8-bit collection, 5,000 plus complete game assets. If it's only $5, that's a really good deal, but I can't even view the assets. How do I know they're good? Oh, I see. Oh, you know what, guys? Hold on. Although, oh, damn, dude. Check this out. Look at this. There's actually a bunch of cool stuff. Pixel Art Space Battle Pack. Okay, that is cool. Alright, you guys want to vote on one of these, and I will, I guess, pay for one of these? I don't mind doing that. I just want to find something that has like complete assets where we can actually like finish the game. Mega pack of over 1,000 sprites. Dungeon pack. New dungeon theme, 3 enemies, a new hero, and a lot of dungeon decor items. Spike traps. Very cool. Dude, I don't know what it is. I love like this type of art. Like I would love to make like a retro old school like RuneScape style RPG game with those graphics. Let's see. Dude, this site is awesome. So this site is called Scirra. SCIRRA.com, I guess. 2D graphic packs are insane. They're like super cheap. Here, what's this? RPG environment pack. This is kind of like Stardew Valley or something like that. These graphics are great for games that need an RPG style. Yeah, it looks like Stardew Valley. Very cool. ISO dungeon pack, Kenny game assets. So this Kenny game assets, I actually do have that. He's got some okay stuff. Let's see. I bought that recently, like a while ago. Let's see here. Kenny's assets. What does he have? He's got a bunch of space shooter assets that are pretty cool, like all of this stuff with damage effects, parts to customize your ship, which is pretty cool. It's got custom UI stuff. And then he has these packs that are just like so much. Let me see here. Art. Alien spaceships pack. Like a lot of the art is crap, but it has some stuff. Board game pack. What's in there? Could make like a poker game. Blackjack. RPG pack. What's here? That's just boring tiles. Oh, this guy seemed to make a work of art out of it. Not gonna lie. Pretty good level design right there. Being handed this to turn it into that. It's pretty good. Actually, it looks like you can make a whole map out of just this. Huh. Let's see. What else do they have? I don't know why I can't go to the next page. Let me go. Alright, here we go. Space Adventure Game Pack. Brawler Pack. Ooh, that could be cool. Beat 'em up style. Dude, these prices are like so damn cheap. Holy snap. Huh. That would be cool. A fighting game uses this thing called hitboxes, which is how like Street Fighter is done, and it's how you get the accurate punches, basically animating hitboxes. If you want to see what it looks like, you can Google hitbox Street Fighter, and you'll see the intense collision action going on. 16-bit NES Adventure Game Pack. It's pretty cool. Recreate Mario, I guess. 2D Environment Pack. Platformer Game Pack. 64-bit. Let's say 64x64 Action RPG Game Pack. What's in there? Ooh, this stuff looks cool. Hero character featuring 6 animations: walking down, walking up, walking right, hitting down, hitting up, hitting right. 4 foes with animations, just walking and hitting. Oh, Warlock casting magic. Nice. Slot game stuff. The one thing I can't show you guys is how to create slot machines. It's because I work for the casino companies, so I can't do that. 32x32 Game Boy Adventure Game Packs. Cute Animal Match 3 2D Platformer Pack. Man, there's actually a bunch of good stuff here. Dude, this is dangerous. Someone could like easily spend like $500 just buying up all these assets. And if somebody does that, feel free to share a download. Platformer assets. Pixel art bundle palette. Night platformer pack. Huh. These assets look pretty cool. Everything is layered to be rebuilt and reused and customized that way possible. And I don't know. None of you guys have any suggestions? Huh. Trying to think. Let me see what old projects I have. Let me see here. I have a folder that, let me see here, C# projects. Hold on. Another project. What's in there? RPG. You know what? I could work on Money Wasted. I should work on Money Wasted. I don't remember where I even am that at. Oh man, I remember this. Huh. Let's see. The hell happened? Weird. It's like huh. The script just like got totally corrupted. Unity like fucked it up. Shit, I don't remember any of the Facebook stuff. This is something I was working on a while back. Which I should restart that. Money Wasted was an app that basically it lets you calculate how much you earn while taking a shit at work. And I had like some UI for it, but I wasn't happy with the UI, so I never really finished it. I got far with it, but yeah, I never got to the point of releasing it because it was just like, yeah, it's broken. I was never happy with the artwork. So, but the app was cool. Let me see. Let's check out this game. Maybe there's something we can do in here. Alright, so yeah, this game is a basically a tactical type game where it's like a what's it called? A wave type game where you have to defend your castle. You can think of it as like a castle defense type game. And you're a fish with a weapon, and you have to blow away other fish and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. Let me see here. Android is what I'm on. There we go. So, and yeah, just got this, and then I had to create some interesting stuff here. You got this hero avatar. I think I can swap between heroes. I'm not 100% sure. Can't I? Where is that? Let's see, swap hero. When does that get called? I don't know how to swap the hero anymore. Hero manager dot swap hero. What happens when I swap hero? Action on complete. I don't see the hero manager there. Oh, here we go. Alright, well, I will, I'm probably going to live stream more this weekend, so I am going to probably head off for now, but I'll probably be on tomorrow. I'm probably going to make some new tutorials and release them, so I just wanted to program some random stuff tonight, but thanks for those who joined, and yeah, I will see you guys later.